reconnecting. There's some god-awful screechy and distracting noise happening outside in my cul-de-sac that I hear every once in a while, and I never know what the WTF it is. And yeah, I just coined a new redundant term. What the WTF? Because you want to, it's like ATM machine. It makes sense, as even though it doesn't make sense. Welcome back, friends. We are live apparently everywhere but TikTok. TikTok got mad at me yesterday, I think because of this. And I worked really hard to make this because this is not what the frame looks like originally. I didn't really work that hard to make this, but it was time consuming, let's put it that way, to create this little stupid effect. And I kind of wanted to repeat it on the edges by adding a third and fourth iteration of the frame on left and right panels. I might do that later, just for absurdity's sake. But I was like, I was happy. Oh, wait, why are we doing this? Let's get to the starting mode. We'll have this conversation in a hot second. Welcome to the show, folks. The live stream will begin shortly. I need to participate in an adult activity behind closed doors that have nothing to do with you, so that I don't get in trouble at TikTok anymore. Apparently TikTok, well, we'll tell you in a minute after we get this, we do the starting ritual. Starting ritual, initiate! Please enjoy. I worked really hard on this. Hello there. I picked the wrong time to jump on the mic right then. I was literally still recovering from a strong, hefty inhalation of warm air with particulate matter in it of a certain kind. It's really weird. Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. DJ Zed, you're way too loud. Take it down just a notch. Right to the magic number, please. To the magic number. Hit the... There it is. I can't even see anymore. I mean, I can. I just can't quite clearly latch onto things. I gotta put on these big giant. And then, of course, you see all those googly reflections. Hooray for the magic of... Okay, I keep looking over there because I'm trying to control things on the screen that you're looking at. And I can't do it while I stare at the camera. I'm sorry. Welcome to the show. I am your humble host, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo. On the Muzak digital discotheque synthetica that you hear in the background at various volume levels that may or may not conflict with the ability to hear my voice is my best friend, imaginary superhero. I should have said my imaginary best friend, and intergalactic transdimensional superhero, disc jockey, party host, and general debutante, DJ Zed. Those are his pronouns right there. It's him, it. It's it, them, they, him, they, it. And the other list I just said about party host, imaginary best friend, debutante. Welcome to the show, folks. So, TikTok, and I don't know if the other platforms will also dislike this. Yesterday, after kind of like just playing too much Call of Duty, and yes, that does happen to people. If you play too much Call of Duty, friends, step away from your machine. It's okay to take a break. But the battle pass, I know the feeling. Hey, it's your money and time, but also, I do not condone, nor have ever endorsed, nor would I ever appreciate the gifting of or receive or engage with any business with any of those, whatever they're called, like leveling services. They have different names now. But the services that will grind the games for you so that you've got like the loot and the gear, and then you can just play the once a month that you want to play and be like the monstrous top dog. If you see Mr. Zeppo in a match, it's this guy and nobody else with just these two oldie-timey thumbs. I have 400,000, 420,000. I never, what's the I have something in my teeth, I think. I forgot to brush my teeth before coming on the stream. Okay, hello, welcome. You can stop the slideshow. Zeppo Prime. Is this Zeppo Prime? No. I am Zeppo Prime. We still haven't benighted my iPad Pro, because I've literally just been calling it the iPad Pro. The iPad Junior, or 6th Gen, is DJ Zed in terms of when you actually hear DJ Zed music, which you're listening to right now in the background. Oh, you're also listening to the Xbox in the background. This is what I mean about those preset settings. Now you're just listening to DJ Zed without it being overlaid. That was not DJ Zed trying to be clever and mix. But if it sounded good, if it sounded like some electro-funk mashup with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 music, then we did it on purpose. If it sounded like absolute garbage and you could not hear myself and I speaking anyways, under it or over it or whatever, then I did it and it's my bad and I'm an idiot. But it was still an artistic choice for story development. Hey, look, guys. Now I can do my nerdly peers over glasses gesture. I've unlocked the prop. And I can also do nerdly pushes up glasses gesture. For reals! And I can also do nerd samurai gesture. Whooshing! It doesn't fit in the camera. I have to like lean way back to do it. I have to go like this. Whooshing! Whooshing! Or backwards. Whooshing! Whooshing! Okay. I'm just trying to have more fun with my stupid adult eye handicap crutches, which is what they should be called. Because glasses just makes it sound like it's cool magic tech. It's glass. They are glasses. In the future, people wear magic sci-tech devices on their faces that let them see when before they could not very clearly, although still a little bit, but you know, couldn't read the stuff. Welcome to the show. DJ Zed is staring at me like, what are you doing, bro? He doesn't talk. He's like a mime character. He is a robot that just like, it's all about the eyebrows and the shoulders and the tilt of the head and the judgment and the eggs. He does make noises. He's sort of like a stoic R2D2. If R2D2 C3PO, don't sue me, Lucas. And what are other robots that I really like? If we had a melting, if all my favorite robots from across robot history, including the ye olde ancient lore silent film of Metropolis and her demi-goddess dominatrix robot lady. I don't know the actual story. I know I've seen it. I've watched. It's amazing. It's classic. It's like the first movie about robots. That may or may not, is that the first or second one? And is it the one that's related to the Serbian or Russian or Ukrainian play? It's one of those Eastern Bloc nations that was all part of the jumbled empire mess until later, and then now they're all don't like each other anymore because Russia is what it is, does what it does. Well, not Russia, not the people, but the government. Did I say something bad about some government? Is that why TikTok banned me? I was really, really, really elevated on the devil's lettuce instead of talking about ingesting my anthocannabinoids candy fruit from nature. I can't say those words anymore. I have... The incorrigible Mr. Zeppo has initiated Cannabis Cleanse Self-Redaction Protocol 417. I can no longer say all the things that I think and I pretend to know might be keywords for TikTok to be like, test that, Mr. Zeppo. We're going to have to give him a little mini timeout because he was gambling. I think that one of the games is like on a no-no list because it's been one of the idle clickers because it's an idle clicker and it maybe didn't like it read that was what it's so weird. Let's talk about it. Yesterday we've been streaming multi-stream with TikTok. Yay, Streamlabs, because Streamlabs struck some deal and I get it. Streamlabs is being the provider and the replacement for TikTok's own when they own the thing, when it's their thing. I love this technobabble word and I can't say it. Proprietary technology. I gotta pull it like it's a line out of a movie. Its own proprietary studio app that is tragically not available for Macintosh. Dear TikTok, if you want me to stream with your studio app, port it to the iMac. Stop playing these little breakup, I'm going to tease you into thinking we're in a relationship and then I'm going to ditch you for a weekend games. I just got banned. I woke up today and I was like, oh, my streamer's having trouble connecting. Remember? I just posted like a 4-minute meme of an episode a hot minute ago. Can I close this? My camera's there you go. Now it looks better. But I don't want to keep the camera app running and open because it clogs up the iMac's resources too. So, multi-streaming, TikTok, found a cool new layout, this frame, the purple stuff. Not the weed frame stuff. Then, because I was going to play these cannabinoidal farming simulators on the iPad, and I found one on the desktop, on the Xbox that I wanted to check out. I made this cool double whammy frame. Now, we've rocked this frame before, but I don't think ever on TikTok. And I think TikTok, something over there didn't like it. But also, I was like literally like openly on fire here. And 99% of the time, I don't. It just sort of slips by. And also, I think I was just heavy-handedly talking about the act of consummating my relationship with Goddess Ganja a little too explicitly hey, I do this all the time. Like if I'm streaming 78% of the time, I mean, if I'm streaming a lot and I keep doing this, I need a little moment. If I keep doing these things and going to the main, it's so weird. I don't have TikTok vertical view anymore. And it's probably going to stream all better now because of that. Anyways, I was sort of mixed bag feeling about streaming on TikTok because it made my setup more complicated. It made getting up, not my setup for the stream in Streamlabs, made it more complicated. It added some stress load, burden load to the processing of the stream, I do believe, because now I'm just doing this dual output thing, which inherently has to just take up more processing power, more resources, and more insert technobabble here. I could be wrong, but it was a vibe I was getting. And while it was awesome because TikTok, you'll get a flood of viewers. I was looking at some of the analytics afterwards on TikTok, and it was like 300 viewers. Each stopped in your stream for 2.7 seconds each, and none of them stayed to watch it. So, and I already felt like I was posting too many videos to TikTok, and or like watching and reblogging way too many videos on TikTok because I was like super into what they were talking about. But please go visit my repost / and or reblog, whatever Mandala universe version you will live in, because I've heard both and no one can definitively answer which it actually is. And I seem to live in multiple instances of multiple universes where those two things are wildly variant. By the way, each universe can have multiple variants within it. Not the other way around. The variants aren't out there somewhere. They are nested like Russian dolls or bracketing brackets inside bracketing brackets. Sliders was only partially correct. Like vaguely pointing in the right direction. But if that's your model of the universe, you got to catch up. You got to head on over to solo.to /Mr. Zeppo. Click on the Wattpad page and get ready for the Mr. Zeppo Explains the Quantum Zeppoverse Theory book, which is going to drop sometime next quarter. I don't know. We're here to play some Call of Duty. So long story short, we're not on TikTok anymore, but that makes me want to just focus on TikTok for shorts and reels. And also, maybe not TikTok for, I don't know. We'll get TikTok back in like a day and a half. Because we were not banned. We were given a warning and a first strike. And the reasons, and I did argue against it. I did say I wasn't gambling. So I said some of this stuff was not in my show. I'm like, I was not gambling. I was playing video games that maybe they thought was like gambling. And I don't know. Did I say the words I bet on something? That was comedy. I wasn't actually making any wagers. So I argued no on that, but I don't know if they realized which way because it's so generic. You don't get to type your own thing either. I would love to type my own explanation in, but I bet people underutilize that. But I'm a former professionally trained and employed for a brief period quality assurance tester. So if there's something I know how to write up pretty explicitly, detailedly well, is like a techno-babble riddled, like here's what's wrong with the software, and the way I think you could fix it is this way, which is how I would approach a write-up like that for being censured by TikTok. But I digress. I am contemplating, I'm gonna maybe mute. I didn't delete, but maybe mute them all. DJ said, play a little music in the background. So that when we get TikTok back, it took me forever. But first at first, when I first started, I was like, I've got that frame, but on the bottom it looks weak. And then it came to me as soon as I remembered the frame, and I hadn't used it in a really long time, and I had not used it ever since TikTok started doing this thing, where Streamlabs was like, hey, you can stream to TikTok. Never mind they're only for PC Studio. You can use us. And I was like, yay. And it has been weird. there's certain things I cannot do very well. Like Streamlabs, while striking this deal, it doesn't let me broadcast my chat to TikTok inside of Streamlabs. So if I want to keep my chat current on TikTok, I gotta double up my effort of tabbing out, back and forth, multiple tabs to drop chat. And we all know that the more tabs are open, in fact, I kind of want to, my preference is to stream without any window tabs open at all. And the only one I ever keep open and processing with the least amount of visual detail is Twitch's Stream Manager dashboard in their creator platform, because it lets me know if my thing is excellent and at how many kbps. And no other platform does that for me as part of their creator dashboard, manage your thing. And I love it. I keep the preview shit turned off. I don't want another video player taking up resources on my desktop because Streamlabs. And I usually put Streamlabs, once I set all my levels and stuff, I usually put Streamlabs on performance mode, which also mutes all the visual widgets. Like there's no more preview of the video itself, and I can't see the audio peak meter, which is a bummer. I wish I could choose to pick that, keep those. Those are helpful. But I digress, dear friends. We're here. We're back. For those of you who do not know, I am the host. This is the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo's Almost Daily Variety live stream show extravaganza. Yes, sometimes I sing. Not very often. If you want to see a really cool singing act on TikTok and other platforms, because I think, or maybe they're a TikTok exclusive. There is a young lady, I think, at least they present as, so I'm trying to respect that presentation. A young lady who does quite brilliantly, and I didn't think this would read, or worse, that the camera would make it too easy to tell, but because I'm a terrible at it. What is it when you project your voice without moving your lips? What is it called? What is it? I don't remember. There are certain ones where I don't know the trick. Like I don't know how they pronounce their R's in the rolling I don't remember in the M's. Anyways, ventriloquism. I had a brief flirtation with aspiring to be a professional ventriloquist. I had a much stronger potential to be a hand puppeteer, a la the Jim Henson School, but I bumbled it and never went to the Jim Henson School in Connecticut. Oh, the lamentation. I should do a puppet show on Twitch, on the stream. I bet that's the thing. I bet if I took a break, made some really janky sock puppets. I almost said something awkward just because my mouth wasn't shaping the right words. Enunciation. It's such a weird alchemy of mouth shapes. So odd. So odd, isn't it? Such an odd, weird, cuckoo, crazy nut job thing we do with our food holes. Welcome to my show. I'm a weirdo. Oh my god, I have so many conflicting thoughts all at once. I have a man crush on that guy that does the videos. And there's several of these dudes. And I kind of have a group man crush, a creator crush. Non-sexual. It's more like, oh my god, your creativity makes me want to be you. And or at least be your straight best friend. And or maybe if I was naturally gay, which I'm not, except I'm a lesbian trapped inside a man's body. So technically, yes, but if you use the word gay and you look like this, people assume it means pee-pee hole in the butthole, and that's not what I want. Why did I say those things? Those are probably all gonna be banned from some other platform. Free speech! What the F were we talking about? That's funny. F-bombs can fly like crazy. I've literally been just oh, look, someone playing a game I'm interested in. Male, female, whatever, or place of origin, F-bombs everywhere. No one minds. And I don't mind me a good effing F-bomb every once in an effing while, but fuck! If you overuse it, you just sound trashy. Clip that and bleep it for future safety. But what was I saying? Really quick, creator man crush of like, oh my god, if I was like man gay instead of a lesbian trapped inside a man's body, women, female gay. I'm gay for ladies. In a really lady gay kind of way, like butch lesbian. If there's such a category as butch tantric lesbian, that's this guy deep down inside. This is just a beard, you know, for beard's sake. Except, you know, I wouldn't ever, anyway, long story, short circuit it. There's these dudes that do these different sketch comedy things. Each of them solo. It's like, you know, the multiple characters played by the same person. And I am inspired and sort of have this like angry man love for them. This like straight creator, content creator man love. It's like very manly because they're fun and they're making fun of manliness. They're making fun of toxic. They're all in their own ways commenting on our society, and that's just part and parcel of our society. And I think if there was a council of all of these dudes that I like in a creative, platonic way, we would all sit around together, and we'd probably all fall in the same quadrant of the socioeconomic, political. Well, eliminate economic. Some of them are all probably doing way better off than I am. And some of them are probably doing way worse off than I am, and we just don't realize it, and you never know because the internet, it's what you put on a screen, not what's really going on. We would probably all fall very similarly aligned in the socio-psychological, like political, like, you know, spectrum of like what's wrong with the world and how can we fix it. Maybe, I would hope. And if I ever magically got famous and or wealthy enough, I would want to invite them all to team up. As well as there's also a chorus of like these are like fan crushes. These are like celebrity crushes, except they're not celebrities, although they're big enough on the internet that you might as well, they're internet celebrities. There's a chorus of ladies that do the same thing too. And I'm terrible because I don't remember any of their names at all. I see all of their faces as I think about it in my head because I'm a face person. If I saw them on the streets, and as long as they weren't like in a radically different, like long hair to shaved head kind of haircut, and as long as they were, you know, kind of being themselves, and they basically looked like a picture of themselves or a snapshot of a video of themselves of the videos that I've seen, I would be like, hey, it's you. I love your videos. Can I get a selfie? Because I would get all like fanboy on them. So I would love, in my mind, there's like a fan fiction universe where these like somehow like my character, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo, is like a mysterious never was, which is some sort of invert opposite of a has-been. You know what I'm saying? Like a has-been is someone who, artistically speaking, professionally speaking, aspirationally speaking, tried really hard, really strong to do a thing, to be a contender in some field, and then didn't make it, kind of washed up, and now just isn't, and is a has-been. I don't know how. There's some etymology to the word. We'll ask the etymology nerd guy. He's on this fan fiction world universe console in my head too. Because I love that. I love what he does. And I love the root origins of words. And I don't know anywhere near as much as he does at all. So he's in education every effing minute. And he's adorable and quirky and fun and energetic. And again, inspires me. Like I wish I was doing half as cool stuff as what he's doing, right? As they are all doing. But in my mind, there's like a world I would write. There's like a comic book adventure universe world where I would write, where all of these people as like the themselves prime, like a me, I'm Mr. Zeppo Prime. I am the author of all Zeppo iterations, right? And if I had one superpower, it would be that I could, not just in video form on TikTok, but in real life. It's funny, I'm going to do a lot of TikTok videos right now during my ban from TikToking live because of the things I think they banned me from. Speaking of which, we got to mute this weed frames. That's what we're doing. We're doing a sweep of all the scenes before we get into the gameplay. I'll keep telling you this story while I click through a few more pages and hide the frames so that they next time when we come back they don't get mad at me again. But in my mind, the incorrigible Mr. Zeppo Prime has the real, tangible, manifest ability to make out of thin air a reality, invoke the existence of, not like in The Boys where that one guy splits himself up. That was fun and cool and gross and also embarrassing because he's always naked. But rather by invocation of transdimensional, like fractal recursion, make manifest in full, complete, armored up, ready to roll, individual yet also synchronized hive mind form, other instances, like basically borrowing from Marvel, variants of self character from other universes or whatever. And like that's why I opened with that line about universes. It's a very important line in the Zeppoverse. As opposed to in other fictional literary universes, we know scientifically, as a proven measurable fact, that in a given metaverse, all self-recursive, individual, anchor-driven, character-driven, like lead archetype miniverses are nested like Russian dolls. Not to invoke the show, but the actual, they can't sue me, cultural artifact of history, the little tiny characters, right? Like it wasn't invented by what's her name's TV show. Although she's on board. She's in the fan fiction council of all these people that have like characters of self. And so are most anybody, film and TV famous character actors. Anyone that's ever been referenced as a master of disguise or a master of multiple characters, or a transformational character actor exists in this round table, like Justice League or, whatever Avengers Council, whatever you want to call it. I need a Zeppoverse name for it. But they're all like characters in this thing that the multiplex of Zeppoverses are members of also, right? So, like, if there was a meeting, there would be just a cacophony of characters laying around. Like, oh, you know what I know that it'll just take me forever to find them. But like, what's his name? And his characters would all be over there in one section, hanging around, acting and behaving like him and his characters. The restaurant guy, Roll Tide. There, I can't remember their names, but I remember that catchphrase. What's another catchphrase? The gal that does, "Oh, Death, yes, my mortal companion." I love her. Oh my God. Oh, I just love those characters so much. I want to be them. I want to admire them from afar. I just wish I had done something exactly like that and didn't. Never did. Failed. That energy lives in my own character creation universe. So this is me explaining it so that like if I ever start making weird references, I do not have a collab agreement with any of them. I have noticed that some of them clearly have chosen to do team-ups with each other. Like, there's the lady who does her own version of God and her bumbling assistants making things, but it's also like trans time, like there's no time. So like the guy that is making all the birds is busy making all the birds, but also postmodern people are dying and showing up at the pearly gates, and God's got to deal with it and answer their questions at the same time, because from their perspective, there's no such thing as time. It's all happening at the same time. She's amazing. She teamed up in and/or helped launch or what. I don't know what order it happened in, but there's a guy, oh my God, he's so hot. If I was bi or gay, I'd feel like I'm that bi enough in my gayness of being a lesbian trapped inside a man's body to just be like, God, I wish I looked like that, because I'd fuck myself so, I would do things to myself so hard if I looked like that. That's terrible. But that's one of the characters that I totally am. I have a character inside of me that just lives judging everybody, like wishing they had that one attribute of theirs, and then sexualizing it, no matter what it is. Like, oh my God, their business acumen's so hot. I wish I had that. I'd business myself so business. But this dude And he also apparently teamed up with another guy that also does his own content creation where he was doing his own, like, it's me being characters. And so now they do a little triangular team up where she's a mom on Earth who may or may not be God in their universe, because she also keeps doing her own God videos. And then she does another one where I don't know if they're roommates with each other, where it's her and herself. And then one is sort of like a normie that's just trying to read a book or do a thing or knit or something. Just do kind of, I don't mean normie in a bad way, just in the middle of the norm bell curve, I guess. And then the other one's a kooky, like, mom joke person, or I don't know what they are, whatever you'd call their, like, just cheesy, gimmicky, yucca, yucca, yucca. She's like a Fozzie Bear of lady comedy. Like, she's not a girl. She's neither a bear nor a Muppet nor a man in this video. But they always start off like they're not trying to make the joke. Anyways, she does this team up where she's a busy, hardworking single mom who secretly may or may not be God in that universe, and may or may not be roommates with a quirky twin or a partner that looks exactly like them, or whatever the other setup is, and has somehow tricked a high-ranking Archduke of Hell into being her permanent babysitter, because whoever the actual leader of Hell, who is not Satan, I forget which name they use, but anyways, there's a lot of people who do Heaven and Hell sketch videos, and this one's one of my favorite because it's weirdly complicated by the fact that there's an Archduke of Hell who's super smoking hot, and then does his own other videos on his channel that's just him talking to himself about funny, weird things, and he does some really thought-provoking ones. And then there is an Archangel who's this smoking hot redhead guy. So, like, the devil guy who does a really great Working for Satan series. Hilarious. Theoretically. And then the Archangel guy, I haven't seen his other content. It's the least. But he's had a couple of really interesting good ones that I was just like, wow. And also he's got this hair. What he's got going on with his long, luxurious, wavy, not quite curly, no matter what he looks like, he's instantly sexy. No matter what else is going on with him, he's just instantly sexy. Redhead, Scotch. Like, I was about to say Scotch Guard, but not Scotch Guard. Like, Scotsman, red hair. But he plays an Archangel who simultaneously was like, slumming it on Earth as a human and hooking up with the single mom, and then gets sort of guilted into hanging around and trying to, be a role model for the kids and help out and be a babysitter too. Too funny. Then there's the really, like, annoying screechy guy where everyone's a Karen. Like, even the people who aren't Karens are Karens. And I know it's his brand. He just, like, everything he does drives up in his voice. Like, he capitalizes on his voice being, like, getting a really interesting, comedically golden, screechy part. In a way that, like, I think my voice can get annoying, but not funny. In that, trying to hit that octave. I love that he's there in this giant fan fiction, multiversal, like, council of content creators superheroes. Because they're superheroes because they have the ability to be, like, multiple instances of themselves all at once. In the same place at the same time. And or in multiple places. In multiple dimensions, just like Mr. Zeppo. But no one realizes it. They're like, they walk amongst us and no one knows. Who else is there? The Roll Tide guy that is there, because his restaurant series is effing genius. And his characterizations are amazing. And then the first one that I ever ran across that was doing this, I can't remember her name, but one of her signature ones is she does the random conversations during the purge, and everyone's like there's one where, like, the cashier lady, like, stayed to work because it was, like, better than doing the purge, and then there's one that is, like, sort of a nested character inside of that world. Like, it's an evil kidnapping bad guy that's gonna do Saw movie themed things to you and torture you and talk to you about it and, like, lecture you. And it's all happening during a purge. And then his victims are always like, for some reason, like impervious to his intimidation and like hilariously like either disenchanted and not disinterested, or like into him and like, please stab me. She does so many cool things. And like she first of the many of those that I discovered when I first got on TikTok. And it was one of the creators that made me want to get to TikTok more than ever before. I'd already had my TikTok account but wasn't using it very much, and had dabbled with some video making, but I didn't know what to do with it. And then stupidly on Facebook, what is her name? She's got a fun, hilarious, like New Yorker, Italian, European, something short, spiky name. And she's like comedy gold. She's just like, there's never been, not one of her videos has ever flopped if it was like sketch comedy. Obviously, she does behind the scenes videos and whatever, and they're not like ha ha funny. They're cute, and there's other things going on. And then she's done some real life videos that are not ha ha funny at all, and good for her. But I mean, if you obviously can tell that it's sketch comedy and that she's either improv her way into this or written it down or whatever. I don't know what her process is, and I've obsessively, compulsively fallen asleep scrolling through her videos. Unfortunately, the first couple of times was on like copycat clone accounts that may or may not have been her redistributing her own content, which bums me out. And then like that's when I was like, where the F is she? What is this content creator's actual name? And there's actually several people like that happened to. There's also the one that does the show with the kids and the lady couple that sort of, they were best friends first, and then they sort of finally reveal their love for each other. And she does all the characters. And she should team up with, there's like a redheaded half Mexican version of her that looks, they could be parts of the same family. But anyways, all of these content creators live rent-free in my mind in like they're all having conversations with themselves and all their characters, and then like something out of the Council of Ricks, but more complicated. Like some sort of Marvel universe meets DC universe meets every other universe where there's a multiverse thing going on with it, but it's the Zeppoverse. A council of all of these prime characters and their entourages and their cornucopia of selves, their choral, their chorus. And we all hang about arguing, debating, like public discourse, discussing like how do we make content that slowly nudges humanity towards actually fixing, solving, saving themselves and the world. Wouldn't that be dope? Sorry, that took forever to brain vomit. I've never expressed that idea out loud, but it's been happening in my head since the first video, and with every content creator whose content is fucking hilarious. And there's probably several out there that I missed, and there's probably several other content creators out there that do this, and I haven't come across them and I haven't heard about them. If you know someone like that, let me know, and send me their TikTok link so I can subscribe and follow them on TikTok and or YouTube or whatevers. And then join me on my own journey as I slowly dip my toes into finally getting around. I didn't know my entry point. Now I do. Now I know where to start, you guys. I wasn't sure where to go, but now I do. And I'm a Call of Duty player. Of course I bitch and moan about loadouts I don't understand. I'm going to do a series of those with my robot eyes and have them all be different robots and then make them little characters. And from there, those characters will meet each other and start having conversations with each other and stuff. Didn't know where to start. And that's what I needed. I had been hung up on I need to be doing this too. These guys are amazing. I love them. I wish honorary mentions, even though they don't do this self-same character sketch, they are on a whole other level and like run their own Disney Plus, but it's the name of their brand Plus website that you can subscribe to. And I wish I was Moneybags. I wish I was Moneybags enough to like send all of these content creators money. If lightning struck and the goddesses, muses themselves descended from the heavens within, because that's really where the heavens are, within. Heaven and hell are here and now, deep within the cockles of your own heart. Pin on the corkboard. But if they showed up and said, all your wishes are granted. You have been retconned. You are now a mogul. You are a work-from-home millionaire running your own little empire. You can hire whoever you want. You already have your financial infrastructure. Money flows where you tell it to. You don't have to worry about it because you've got excess money that you're generating, not from your content, but from your whatever. I was born into some family wealth, right? That's a version of the universe I wish I could tap into. Let's go. I don't have family wealth. I'm very, very lucky in my circumstances that I'm not dead. Comedy, use of the word, don't get mad at me. That I'm not, unalived somewhere on the side of the road, like so many human beings in the history of the world have ended up being, like, ooh, that's what happened to them. So thank you and blessings. But the lightning strike of now I can flex my own creative muscles and I can hire people to do stuff with me is not there yet. But if it were, which is the fan fiction universe, part of the fan fiction universe I'm trying to write and build in my mind, and is what's going to go down on the pages in the Wattpad section eventually, this would all be happening. I would hire and do a massive team up with these characters and build a studio with a compound of, like, you each get your own little house that lives in a cutesy neighborhood, so we don't have to see each other on our days off and our afternoons off and our evenings off. It's like we don't exist to one another, but every morning at whatever o'clock we all agree to is chill and not a waste of a day, but not too early o'clock, we get together and we start writing, filming, and we do multiple shows. Oh, I never finished the honorable mention. They live in my rent-free in my head in this multiversal universe of if I had money, what I would with that. If suddenly I was retconned into being my own mogul, I would be like, what, do we have top of the line technology? If we don't, we are building now. So I think it cut off. If we're still streaming, it says 2KB. Yeah, oh, I'm really lost. Oh, part of it is I had